So we're going to be starting with Yozora. Yozora is a relatively safe start that I do recommend for new players. With our remaining gold, we're going to train a worker. We know that Yozora can clear wave 1. And if that's something that you don't know on your own, it's something that will come with experience. One way to also know that or have an idea about that is looking at your recommended value. Yozora is pretty significantly above wave 1's recommended value, so you should have some confidence that it will clear the wave. We don't really have any gold left, so what to do with our remaining 20 Mythium? Well, we have two options really. One is to send a snail, the other one is to upgrade the king. Or actually our third option is to save the Mythium. Any of those can be right. It's going to depend on your game plan and playstyle. In this case, I will save the Mythium. One thing that I'll also do is I'll queue up a worker. And that's because I know that I can safely push to 4 workers with Yozora on wave 2. And that's, again, something that will come with experience. So I'm going to ready up, because I'm ready to see the wave. One thing I like to do right when the wave spawns is take a look at what my opponent built. So I see that he built a fire elemental. I can hit 3 to see his build, or I can hit 1 to return to my build. Another way to see my opponent's build is to hit tab and then the space bar, and I can see that he built a fire elemental. Fire elemental is something that can leak on wave 2, so you know what, let's try sending a snail. And the reason I sent that snail right now is because you notice I now have 6 income from sending the snail, and I received that 6 gold. So it was important that I sent the snail before the battle phase ends, because the amount of gold you receive from income is calculated at the end of the battle phase. I'll also queue up another snail, because I want to send maximum amounts to try to leak my opponent. So I'm going to be sending 2 snails here. Even though I do have a little bit of leftover gold, I'm not going to deploy a mass spirit because I don't need it. The most that I can receive right now is a lizard or a dragon turtle, and I know that I can safely clear either of those. So let's take a look at how he's doing with the fire elemental. Did he add much? He added a proton. With that, he should be able to clear. Yep, so he had a really good clear. So now what we want to think about is, hey, how are we going to hold wave 3? Wave 3 is, I maybe anticipate my opponent to attack me here because Yozora is not the strongest on wave 3. One thing I can do is I could add an Ekamata, I could add an Infiltrator. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to add an Eternal Wanderer. Even though Eternal Wanderer isn't particularly good on wave 3, I think that Eternal Wanderer and Yozora can clear a Brute, which is the strongest send I can get in wave 3. I don't know exactly, but I have a good feeling it will. And I'm also, by building Eternal Wanderer, preparing ahead. So I'm preparing for wave 5, which is where Yozora is weakest. And I did receive the Brute, you can see here. So I'm going to queue up 2 workers, actually, because Yozora is pretty strong on wave 4. And I can safely push to 6 workers. A decent approximation is for every 40 Mythium that you receive, you can get about 1 worker. I can see that my opponent added an Aqua Spirit. So now I might be eyeing maybe wave 5, maybe wave 6 against the Fire Elemental and Aqua Spirit. You can see here, the Eternal Wanderer, it was just enough to clear the Brute. Oh, it was not. So I actually am leaking a little bit, but that's okay. It's okay to leak in the game. My ally did leak as well. We'll be taking a little bit of king damage here, but it's not too big a deal. But to be safe, I'm actually going to income send here. So I'm gonna try to send a Brute. Brute has a chance of leaking with my remaining gold, so I notice I'm a little bit under value. I have a little bit of gold left over. I will build the Mass Spirit, and this is a ranged unit, so I'm going to build it a little bit in the back. So my opponent did not attack me here, which means I need to be a little bit careful about wave 5. Looks like he's going to be able to clear my brute, so it wasn't a great send, but it was worth a try. Now I should be focusing on what I can build to clear wave 5, and that is likely going to be another Wanderer. Or I could also consider an Infiltrator. Both of these units are going to be good on wave 5. Gold-wise, I could consider the Infiltrator. Gives me a little bit extra damage. Makes me a little bit worried for wave 7 though. Or I can go with the Wanderer. I'll try the Wanderer. Either of those could have been good. So he's sending me a brute here. Now let's take a look at what my opponent built. A Mudman. So that is weak on 6. So now I'm definitely going to be sending here. I'm going to be also queuing up some workers because I'm relatively strong on wave 6. I am leaking a little bit here on wave 5, but again, that's okay. It's okay to leak in the game. It's not the end of the world. Queuing up the worker here because I know I'm relatively strong on wave 6, and because I'm also about to send a pretty big send, which means I'm going to get a lot of gold. Yes. So I'll try the Cannoneer here.
Let's go.
Again, I sent the Cannoneer before income, which gets me the 57 gold. With my remaining 65 gold, I have two options. I can build the Mass Spirit or the Nekomata. I'm going to try for the Nekomata. Nekomata is not very good on wave 6, but it is good on wave 7. With my remaining Mythium, I'm going to add a Snail. So my opponent did not send here. So that means I have to be a little bit careful about wave 7 and 8. So it looks like I will be breaking through my opponent here with the Cannoneer send. 58% leak, and again, see, that's one reason that it was okay for me to leak on wave 5. Was that, hey, that was about a 30% leak. That gave me extra time to get the Cannoneer out, which caused an even bigger leak here. And the reason the gate's not opening right now is that I was still fighting over here. But I just cleared, so the gate opens, and now units move through. Daphnes are going to hold here. And just to be safe, when in doubt, I'm going to income send here. Just to be safe. I don't expect to leak him on 7. What I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade regen. So our king is a little bit damaged. And I'm going to upgrade the Nekomata to full stacks. So now at 7 stacks, the Nekomata is very powerful. One of the strongest units in the game against wave 7. And you can see that that Dragon Turtle income send, which got me 12 gold, was helpful for fully upgrading my Nekomata. I have 11 gold left, so I would have been short by 1. So I did get a send here. I am a little bit undervalued. What that means is I have lower value than what one might expect to have on this wave, but that's okay. I think my build is pretty strong here. If you have a strong build or with strong typing, it's okay to be lower on fighter value, because that means that you're higher on workers. I always queue up workers. Right away, I want to be able to spend that gold immediately, because that gives me the maximum amount of Mythium generation. My ally is leaking a little bit to the safety mole. I'm clearing. My teammate did break through our opponent. Queued up at last worker. See, I'm already on 11 workers. So even though I've leaked, I believe, the most times this game, I have the most workers, which means I'm definitely ahead. I'm pretty strong here. Is my opponent good on 8? He's okay on 8. These units are good on 8, but these 2 units are not good on 8, so I'll consider a send here. I'd love to get a cannoneer, but I don't think I'm going to get that off. So, well, I will. So this is the cannoneer. And in this case, I'm pretty strong on wave 8, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building for wave 9.
Simple geometry. Their bones will wet my blade.
What I'll do here is I will build the Eternal Wonder actually on this side. And what that does is it helps to get these guys tanking some aggro a little bit more evenly. So it's not super important to do as a new player, but it's something that can help a little bit. See how he's gonna take some damage and he's gonna come back to life. I got a 100 cent, so I'm gonna queue up some workers. I noticed that my opponent added even more fire elementals and aquas. That makes him quite weak on 9 and 10. So I can be eyeing either of those waves to send on. In this case, I am going to look for wave 10 because I don't think I have enough Mythium to break him on wave 9. Oh. So in this case, I did push a little bit too much, so I'm low on value. So what I'll do is I build the Infiltrator here. And I'll boost him with some shurikens. Just to be safe. Spend 4 extra gold, but it might help me clear a little bit more if I do get a send here. And I could leak here. I am under value. So I got a cent. And I'll queue up some more workers. And now I'm going to be looking to build the golems. Quite weak on wave 10. So now, against that, what I'll do is I will consider potentially an ogre if I can get it. You can see here, I am going to be leaking a bit on wave 9, but it's, again, okay. Leaking is a good thing if it means you're pushing more workers, and when you're ahead on workers, it means more time for Mythium generation. You can see my Mythium continues to increase. I could afford an ogre, so I'll probably send that. I can also consider a 4 eyes. Probably not going to do a ghost, I'm going to go with the ogre. And I'll add a snail as well. I'm not super strong here, so I'll probably add another Yuzora. I do want her to tank, I believe, so I'll do that. And with my remaining golds, do another Mass Spirit. And I'll just add some income cents here with my remaining Mythium. I got another send, so I'm going to be queuing up. I'm going to be taking a look at the Legion spells that are coming on wave 11. We've got Hero, Lizard Army, and Villain. So you can see that he is leaking. I'm leaking a bit as well.
Yes, sir.
You can always right click to cancel. In this case, I will add a cannon
Let's go.
just to be safe, so I don't leak here. And I will try Lizard Army. Offensive spell. I'm gonna try to attack him here, and I can afford my Soul Gate now. So I'll add a Soul Gate, and I'll add another Infiltrator.
From the shadows.
I notice I'm a bit under value, so I'm gonna boost both of these guys a little bit. With my last amount of Mythium, I will add a right here. Looks like they sent here. They did not take Lizard Army, we can see that. You can look over here. Looks like he went Villain on his Fire Elemental. So we got to send. Let's queue up some workers. And I forgot to mention earlier, to queue up workers, you shift and left click. And you can queue up Mercenaries, Workers, or King Upgrades. With Lizard Army, assuming someone leaks, I like to continue to resend. So yeah, my ally is leaking, I believe. My ally's leaking, so I'm gonna resend here. Actually, might go straight to 13 now. So you can see I was able to clear here, even under value. That's because my typing is pretty solid against this wave. I have a lot of fortified units. I'm actually not going to send here. Instead, I'm going to look for a big send on 13. Every wave that passes, I end up a little bit bigger than my opponents, because I know that my income is quite high. And you can compare it to my ally, 174, I'm at 257.
Chaos. Truly. Swiftly.
Bit undervalue, so I will also boost the infiltrators. Sent again. Alright. So now I'm going to try to make use of my Lizard Army, which is going to send 1 Lizard on 11, 2 on 12, and 3 on 13. And I'm going to send very big here.
Yes.
So I'm going to be leaking moderately here, which isn't great, but the thing is we're not dead, and we are going to be able to hit him hard here on 13. So if they're not ready for this, they could lose here on 13. And Legion T2 is definitely a game of back and forth. In this case, I could consider a Shaman, 4 Eyes, Siege Ram as well. I'll go with the 4 Eyes. I'll go with some Lizards.
Not enough Mythium.
I will also upgrade my Zora into an Arctare and add another Mass Spirit with my remaining golds. I'm going to add a Hermit. And 1 more Lizard. So we got another send, but you can see they got an even bigger send. 600. I'll be clearing here. I'm quite strong on wave 13. I leaked my opponent very bad. My ally was not able to leak his opponent, but we will be getting some king damage. This should get through to the king. So we did leak a little bit, but that's okay. What I'm gonna do here is I'm going to resend. My opponent's pretty bad on wave 14, so I'll consider a pack leader resend. Pack leader, I like to add lizards, so I'm gonna do that. Here. I'm gonna add this, and I'm gonna add some pierce damage as well.
With the order of the serpent.
I'm going to be generally eyeing wave 17 against my opponent. He has 2 Fire Lords, a lot of magic damage, so wave 17 is very strong against him. So in that case, I'm not going to push workers here. Instead, I'm going to overvalue on wave 15 and push 2x workers starting wave 16 and look to end them on 17. Got through a little bit with a small leak. And I want to be careful that we don't die here on wave 15, especially because my ally is pretty weak there. So, I'm going to go with double Orchid. And I might make it triple Orchid.
By the order of the serpent. Swiftly.
With my remaining gold, I will
Swiftly.
boost. So they sent here, they're trying to end us. If we survive here, we should be in pretty good shape because we saved our Mythium. So we should be able to mount a pretty big attack on wave 17. So I was able to just clear. My teammate did leak, so we'll be taking some more king damage here. Shouldn't die here. We are going to look to end them on wave 17. So one thing, this is about using the king's health as a resource. So obviously we are pushing our limits a little bit here, with our king only being at 7%, but overall, things are pretty good. I can build some Hellraisers. I'm gonna try to cover my ally a little bit here because I know his value's not so hot. Although I'm pretty strong here on 16. Okay, so they didn't send, they just upgraded the king. I'm gonna push. One worker here. And I'm going to send with the rest. So I'm going to be sending a shaman. Really good on wave 17. I'm going to send a 4 eyes, really good in combination with the shaman. And if I can afford it, I'll send a pack leader. If I can't, should be able to. Yep. So I'll be able to get the pack leader here. Just in time. 4 income. Yep, perfect. Upgrade my Hellgate. Some more anti-17 right here. Just to be safe, I believe the game's ending here, so upgrade these shurikens. And I'll spend the remainder of my gold. Always important to spend all of your gold whenever there's any doubt. If you think the game's going to end, might as well spend it all. With my last bit of Mythium, I'm going to add a Hermit. And I will add a Lizard. Queue up a Snail as well.
Not enough Mythium.
Okay, so they sent 640. I was able to send 860 here. So I'm going to queue up workers just in case the game doesn't end. I feel pretty strong here because of the 4 empowered Hellraisers. I'm going to unqueue these workers because I did leak. Super close game, so I'm going to resend here just to be safe. Because this game is looking like it's going to end soon. Late game, I'm going to be looking for some more soul gates.
Quickly now.
You see that I'm overvalued here, but usually a good idea. Sell this and get another orchid. Good to be overvalued late game, just in case, especially when your allies undervalue. They're gonna continue to resend as well, so better safe than sorry.
Yes.
Like both teams are clearing, so a pretty close game overall. Oh, we have a leak here, so I was able to leak my opponent the 420 cent. Queue up some more workers. And at this point, I think it probably makes sense to save and go for wave 20. My ally is reasonably strong here on 19. And I should be strong here as well. So probably get another Hellgate and upgrade these guys for some more damage. So they resent. We should be able to clear. And at this point, it probably doesn't make sense to get any more workers. If we expected the game to go to wave, maybe the second wave of wave 21, which people often call wave 22, maybe we would we'd get some workers here. But I think at this point the game's probably going to end next wave. So let's stay high value. Clear wave 19, which is fine, and we're gonna send here. So Shaman is critical on wave 20. Yep, my ally did leak, so I'm glad that I cleared for him. He's a lot of magic damage, could add a Kraken. I'll also add, just might as well add a Dino and a Snail. And then I'll also look to add a Hermit against wave 20. Say we could get some more Arc Tears for the attack speed slow, very strong. And with the remaining golds, let's get some boosts. We'll add a Hermit, and we'll add some more tanks.
Not enough material.
Let's cancel that. We don't need that worker. So I cleared wave 20 pretty easily. My teammate is leaking, but we both leaked them, so that should be game in our favor. Really close game. Always play it out, even if your king gets low. You saw our king was at 7% before. It's regenerated up to 32% because my teammate upgraded regen. Didn't invest any other points into attack or spell this game because they didn't think it was needed. And we're able to close out the game with a win.
Victory.
You can see some of the stats here at the end. I leaked a decent amount this game actually. I overall had a good amount of Mythium, good income. The Grove bot, one of the opponents, also was very strong, but not strong enough. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that this gameplay cast was helpful. If there are any topics that you guys would like me to cover, please let me know. Have a great day.